So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's celebration of Poetry in Motion community. We're here today, and I'm joined by Shelley Tracey, who's the coordinator of the LAVA program. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Conor Shields, and it's my great pleasure to be Chief Executive of Community Arts Partnership. So today is a very special day in our calendar. And I know for a lot of you, you've been looking forward to this as well. It's when we launch our new anthology, Threshold. And we already know that the long list has been published for the Seamus Heaney Awards 2022 for new writing. And of course, today, this afternoon, we'll be discovering who the winner and who the shortlisted are of that award. An exciting day, Shelley, wouldn't you think?
Really exciting. It's been really brilliant this year, Conor. We've had hundreds of entries and our community classes and master classes have gone very well. And there's been great interest in the theme and in poetry in general, which has been really good to see.
Yeah, this is our 21st anthology launch. And it's quite incredible that if you read through the anthologies and look through our anthologies over the years, you can see it's almost a who's who of the poetry scene in Northern Ireland, between winners of the Seamus Heaney Awards and then people who have been published in the various anthologies way before that. Of course, starting with You Can't Eat Flags for Breakfast back in 2001. And the linkage between the awards today and that very first anthology is, of course, that Seamus Heaney himself contributed to You Can't Eat Flags for Breakfast with the poem Catechism. And we were delighted at that time. And of course, it's a fantastic honor for us to continue our relationship with the Heaney family. Margaret Heaney is a great supporter of the work that we do, not only in community, but also in schools. Being a school teacher herself, she has a great deal of support for the work that we're doing. So thank you, Mary. Thank you, the rest of the Seamus Heaney family as well. And thank you, everybody that has contributed to our poetry anthologies over the years.
Can I thank the poet facilitators, Conor, who have enabled this process. They have done workshops in the community. They've given masterclasses to help people draft and edit their poems. And we are very lucky to have a number of these poet facilitators who have supported the program over the years. And
absolutely.
The program is all the richer because of them.
Indeed, we couldn't do this program without our poet facilitators. And of course, we would also like to thank our principal funder, the Arts Council of Northern Ireland. And indeed, we are delighted today to be able to have Liam Hannaway join us, albeit remotely via video. But he is going to offer us some words as well. And of course, we're going to hear from the long-listed poets too. Just before we do, I think, given what's going on in our lives and in the world at the minute, it's tremendous that we still have poetry and this community of poetry to rely on and reflect what's going on in our lives. It's been a really turbulent couple of years through COVID-19's pandemic. It's been really, really hard to not just to run an arts program, but it's been hard just to live our lives. It's been hard to stay connected to the people that we normally meet. It's been hard to be creative. I think it's been a real struggle for a lot of people to find the quietness, to find a rhythm in all the intensity and all the uncertainty that's been going on at the moment. And of course, when you're faced with a kind of existential threat, your response is very different to your normal response to how you get on in your normal everyday life. And we're faced with a really difficult situation at the minute, of course, with what's going on in Ukraine. And we feel so terrible for so many people involved in the tragedy. And of course, that plays on our minds as well. It adds to our anxieties, as if we didn't have enough to worry about. And poetry, of course, has its place. But I think just reflecting on something that Seamus Heaney said himself, he said, no lyric has ever stopped a tank. But in another sense, poetry is unlimited. It's like writing in the sand, in the face of which accusers and accused are left speechless and renewed. And when I reflect on words with that power and that wisdom, and that was from 1988, years before he became a Nobel laureate, but he was reflecting on the struggle and the lived experience that we had locally. And of course, it is for a poet to constantly have this relationship with what's going on around them and to express what they feel about the circumstances that prevail. And I think, Shelley, you've seen all the work as well. We know that the tone and the tenor of the work that we've received this year has been slightly different because of that. We've seen that that searching for meaning sometimes, and we've seen loss and we've seen memory really come to the fore. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, indeed, we have. And we've also seen challenges to the issues and the poet's power of the imagination. And what we've also seen, Conor, which is really lovely, is that people who haven't contributed or submitted before have done so this year. So we know that our local poetry community is thriving.
Brilliant. Well, look, now I'm going to invite, we're going to show you Liam Hannaway's speech. He's the chair of the Arts Council of Northern Ireland, and the Arts Council, of course, are our principal funder, and we couldn't do this work without them. So I'm going to hand over to Liam now.
Hello, I'm Liam Hannaway, and I'm the chair of the Arts Council of Northern Ireland. And I'm delighted to be with you today, albeit virtually, for the launch of the Community Arts Partnership new anthology for 2022 called Treasure, and of course, to hear who is going to win this year's Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing. I'd first of all like to thank the Community Arts Partnership for organising this award and supporting the tremendous new talent that we have across this part of the country. The Community Arts Partnership is a network award who supports and develops community talent right across Northern Ireland. The Seamus Heaney Award recognises the highest individual excellence and achievement in new writing, just as it recognises the community support which is provided to the workshops and masterclasses organised by the Community Arts Partnership. This event is one of the flagship events of the Community Arts Partnership's wider literature programme, which includes the Poetry in Motion project, which brings poets and sends poets to schools and communities to develop a love for poetry and indeed to encourage the new poets of the future. The importance of this work was recognised by Seamus Heaney himself and indeed the Heaney family, who lend his name, the Seamus Heaney, to this award. And we want to thank the Heaney family, and in particular Mary, for her support for this award. Seamus Heaney took part in the awards way back in 2001. So it's remarkable that we're here on the 21st anniversary of the first anthology, and indeed to celebrate the 8th Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing. The Arts Council support the Community Arts Partnership through our lottery funds, because we recognise this important and valuable work. I want to thank Conor Shields and his team, the literature and verbal arts coordinator, and all the facilitators who work with the community groups and help facilitate them in bringing forward these beautiful poems. So on behalf of the Arts Council, I want to offer my congratulations to everyone who got themselves included in this anthology. I also want to congratulate those who've been longlisted. And I, like everybody else, I just can't wait to hear who is the winner of the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Liam, for those warm words of support and encouragement. And again, thank you for your ongoing support and investment in our programme. The Arts Council have been a partner on our work and in our work for 22 years, and we obviously hope that continues well into the future. So thank you. Okay, Shelley, so now it's time to hear from the longlisted. Isn't that right?
That's right. So we are going to be seeing 9 poems, and you are in for a treat. And these are the poems and the poets in the order in which you'll see them. First of all, we have Charlene O'Donnell reading Newgrange. Next is Geraldine Fleming with Cartographer. Then we have Stephen de Búrca with Lazy Beds. The next poet is Diane Martin with her poem Esther. Then Annemarie Mullan is going to bring us Airing Arachne. Margaret A is going to read her poem Existence. Stephen de Búrca, we're going to see him again, and his poem is His Mother's Dresser. Herron is going to bring us to An Unborn Daughter, and Sue Steging is going to end the lineup with A Naming of Parts. So enjoy.
Newgrange. It's well signposted now, west of Drogheda on the north side of the River Boyne. Empty and unassuming as a magician's hat, it sat sealed up for millennia. Known only to children after chores and farmers who guard land boundaries with narrowed eyes. Now we bottleneck into the black tomb, flock giddily downwards. But with the unexpected jolt of a misstep, the cold wrap of stone encloses, the low claustrophobia, the stale reek of airlessness. Doubts are off the darkness. Shoulder to shoulder we wait and wait. Wander down through our memories the narrow passages of mistake, wonder if the way back has been sealed closed. Promises mean little these days. They snag an opportunity like white wool on hedgerow. But promise all the same, that on the days of black obsession, that myopic regression, you will remember that you are descended from sun catchers, from minds that moved monoliths, spiraled on resistance, lassoed the greatest star in its wakening to beguile it down long passages. The earth will only tilt so far, you see, before rolling back. And despite its deceptions, the distance there and home are the same. I suppose it's why there are those amongst us who count the minutes of light, who speculate on shadow, pinch the edges of morning's reluctant shivers and drop numbers like breadcrumbs. If you were to come apart like a slipped glass, what would emerge is not the charred shame you expect, not the obsidian shadows like sinews binding you together, but rather a scintillant glow, the white brilliance of sunlight on a different day. It's worth commemorating then, those bastions of light. And look, here it is. The golden beam arrives, bursting through like the inaugural dawn. And though still ensconced, buried upright, we are moved. For where there is light, there is hope.
Hello everyone, my name's Geraldine Fleming and I'm really pleased to be able to read my poem to you this evening, Cartographer, which has been longlisted for the Seamus Heaney Award. Thank you. Cartographer. You started with stubby wax crayons, rubbed and smoothed out brown paper. X marked the spot amid spur-heavy palm trees. Your first treasure map fades in a forgotten box. Long, slim drawers, house flat world images, scratched on clay tablets, drawn on vellum, printed on grades of paper, swathes of triangulated surveys measured by human hand, scanned by satellite, transposed as oceans and continents with rivers and mountains, deserts and jungles, borders and blocks, perpetual fine-tuning for fidelity. Scale models determined by history, land wars and sea battles, navigating conquest routes, spice routes, slave routes, extinction routes. On the near time horizon, you see coastlines crashing and melting into oceans of human carelessness. Terra firma shrinks beyond redress. Climates pivot while populations plummet. Wringing your hands, your mercurial map wears thin.
Lazy beds. I see the lazy beds like ribs of a bog-kept corpse. Now the field is cleared of bramble and foxgloves, unveiling a hawthorn. Perhaps the tree, a portal to latent worlds, it said, was starting to sprout while she, nameless, undocumented, stayed, and her male relatives embarked on the Bod Bón, or the Lung Honra. The field, no more than an acre, belonged to the Baron Blake, and she would reap spade jolts from buried chunks of Connemara granite, digging them out with callus-lashed palms, herself sustained by dried dulse. The field is rippling. I uproot a wild orchid from the tree's feet, knowing full well that it's bad luck for them to be picked. But April tacks on for Bealtaine, the only day a hawthorn can be felled before its white petals are tinged with pink. Faraway pockets of fuchsia and gorse lend the coastal breeze a sweetness. Morning dew lingers on the orchid. Lord knows what I'll do with it.
I'm Diane Martin, and this is my poem, Esther. He holds the door for her as if she were a tigress, as he has done for 63 years. Unlooked for courtesies which she had repaid with endless cups of tea. Even after he retired from the docks, she still made the tea. Until she forgot that the water was hot. But his never tasted as good as hers. So now he dresses them up to the nines, and they do the rounds of Starbucks and Nero's and Costa and ground. Cappuccino king and queen, cruising through macchiatos and lattes, like they're on one of those foreign holidays they could never afford. He strokes her wrist to anchor her. Then, "Hi, my name is Rachel," appears, with a tiny bottle of Prosecco and espresso cups. "I'm sorry, we don't do flutes, and I'll get into trouble because we don't have a license. But I wanted you to have something to match your pearls and his fedora and the way he looks at you." a wink of memory catches hold. Packing cases and her skin so smooth. Baby sham in her dead mother's teacups. The only time she ever used them.
Airing Arachne. All topsy-turvy in her flannelette, breathing linen scents, she slides cold feet around on ceiling warmth till a glimmer draws her, widder shins, to a stucco floor where light bulbs, tulip style, bloom, tremble taut on stems of plaited wire. Far below, the adults plot their limpid lives on vinyl and linoleum, polished wood, woven rug and tile. She eavesdrops off the pelmet, skirting house moths beating chests against the boughs of an antique chandelier. Hair mid-air, she teeters over rows of architrave, eyes and eyes up close, doorway she can clamber up and through. Plaster scrolls and furled acanthus curlicue as evening wafts a breeze across her feet, swirling long lace curtains to reveal an open sash through which she views a haze of falling dusk on starling swell, the blue-black back of a drowsy beetle, wingtips of a roosting pipistrelle. A cobweb yawns with bated breath, and seeing shimmies on the line, weaves silken gossamer on the fly, and then, as beech and hazel branches nudge the dripstone at her feet, steps up into the canopy to dip her toes in sky.
Existence. Existence dangles like a spider hanging, flat spinning on man-made thread.
His mother's dresser. The kitchen dresser, dark mahogany with Celtic swirls and knots on the panelled doors, came with his mother's house. Exotic money from Zambian kwacha to Yugoslav dinars is stowed away in a tatty umber wallet behind his driver's license, with a moustache that often caught a pint of the black stuffs, white and bitter foam. Like blooming mountain ash, cassette spines saturate the upper shelf with colour, the cases bearing the wallet's heft. House keys for the front and rear on the keyring he haggled for in Lima lay in a coating of dust beside the wallet, waiting once more to wander and return through the back door.
To an unborn daughter, hide inside where you aren't a topless selfie passed around by mates, or a stolen moment captured on a camera hidden by a bedside. Don't grow where lithe limbs can't be exposed because you are only asking for it and fear fizzes at the bottom of a glass. Wait here where you don't park in an unlit lot, pad the pavement in running shorts, post a letter by a building site, or walk home alone at night. Daughter, do not get in that car where you will wait for locked doors and wrong turns up unknown lanes, lie in the dark, hoping, praying, begging him to give your body back to you.
A naming of parts. A feather falls from flight, light, down soft, quill-sharp entry to imagined worlds and spaces, where secret geometries of flight, invisible unities of form and function, gesture toward planetary arcs, an orbital ellipse, a universe in motion. Pearl edges undulate like waves from deeper, greyer seas. Fine edges of a basin so shallow an age might ache for the arc of its circumference to meet itself, the movement so slow, so careless of a pattern-hungry eye. There is violence in labels, a fumbling assault, to classify and catalogue the shaft, the veins, the downy barbs, disrupts these silent harmonies of air, synchronies I thumbed open with desire, the day I tried to know and name the parts.
So that was absolutely fantastic to see all those long listed poems and indeed poets. And thank you so much to them for being so creative with their videos as well. Fantastic. This year, I was joined on the selection panel by two previous winners of the Seamus Heaney Award. The inaugural winner, Stephanie Conn, and the 7th winner of the award, Jim McElroy. And Jim has very kindly offered to give us an insight into that process.
Hello, everyone. It seems just the blink of an eye since I sat in this chair last year recording a video of my poem, Health and Safety. And I felt very fortunate since to have been the 2021 winner of the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing, and also privileged to have been a judge for this year's awards. Thank you to Conor and to Shelley and to everyone at Community Arts Partnership for inviting me, and to my fellow judges for being such a pleasure to work with. It has been truly enlightening to see just how anonymous the judging process is. Last year remains very fresh in my mind. I recall very clearly what it's like to sit there on the long list, awaiting the results. So good luck, everyone. And whatever the outcome, thank you all who submitted. Congratulations, everybody. And in particular, in advance of Conor's announcement of the results, can I extend my personal congratulations to my successor and winner of the 2022 Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Jim. That was great. And now you have a sense of the work that was done and the long hours that went into the selection of these awards. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Shelley so we find out who actually has won the Seamus Heaney Award for 2022. Shelley.
Hello, everybody. Well, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. So I'm very glad to tell you that the runner-up for the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing is Stephen de Búrca with his poem Lazy Beds. And the winner of the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing 2022 is Jen Herron with her poem To an Unborn Daughter. Well done to both of you, and well done to everybody. And we're now going to have the pleasure of seeing Jen performing her poem again. Thank you, everybody.
to an unborn daughter. Hide inside where you aren't a topless selfie passed around by mates, or a stolen moment captured on a camera hidden by a bedside. Don't grow where lithe limbs can't be exposed because you are only asking for it and fear fizzes at the bottom of a glass. Wait here where you don't park in an unlit lot, pad the pavement in running shorts, post a letter by a building site, or walk home alone at night. Daughter, do not get in that car where you will wait for locked doors and wrong turns up unknown lanes, lie in the dark, hoping, praying, begging him to give your body back to you.
So, there you have it, everyone. The winner of the Seamus Heaney Award for New Writing 2022 is Jen Herron and her tremendous poem, To an Unborn Daughter. You can see that how a poet might reflect upon the times that we're in, and indeed the difficulties and challenges that we face, particularly women at this time, and particularly around the subject that she was talking about, of course. The real power of that piece shines through, but it was a long and difficult decision, I can assure you, for the people on the panel. So thank you very much for tuning in today. And thank you to all the poets who have contributed, either through submissions or coming to our workshops, or indeed attending masterclasses. And I know, Shelley, you want to thank in particular our poet facilitators as well.
Yes, I would like to thank those facilitators who helped us with the masterclasses and the community workshops, and I would like to name them. Thank you to Denise Blake, Emma Must, Frank Rafferty, Freya Serran, Kathleen McCracken, Matthew Rice, Maureen Boyle, Moira Donaldson, Ross Thompson, Stephanie Conn, and Teresa Kane. So many thanks to everyone. And please watch out for the next submission.
And before we go, I'd like to give particular thanks to our technical support in the person of Stephen Tunley, who not only does tremendous work all year round, but compiles and produces the anthology and also helps us with everything technical in Community Arts Partnership. So thank you very much, Stephen. And perhaps next year, who knows, we may be able to do this in person, Shelley, instead of in this room that I feel that I've been in for 2 years in captivity. But this is our sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well done to Jen Herron, and congratulations to everybody who's published in this year's anthology, Threshold, which will be available very soon from Community Arts Partnership. Thank you.